Now why for this life, oh, now so palava. I tire for this problem, I tire for life, oh. Guinea, no work, no food, no house, no light. This small water, then they bring now so dirty, they pull am. This small money, I they get now social transport, they chop am. School low, now headache, hospital, no work. I tire for life, oh. My brother, waiting you they think, oh. My sister, help don't come. SDP, MKO, Kingibe, action. MKO, Kingibe, SDP, progress. Abiola na the hope, SDP na the party to solve our problem and better our life, oh. MKO, 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 action.
These jingles dominated the media space as a build-up to the June 12 general elections, which had Bashir Tofa of the National Republican Convention (NRC) and the late business mogul Basharun MKO Abiola on the platform of the Social Democratic Party (SDP), and he eventually won what has gone down in history as the freest and fairest election in Nigeria. Nigerians trooped out in their numbers in an open ballot system to vote in an election that they considered a way out of the military rule supposedly plaguing the country. It was a Muslim ticket which Abiola, alongside his running mate Babagana Kingibe, won fair and square even in the hometown of the opposition.
That was an election where money didn't play too much influence, where religion played no influence, where ethnicity played no influence, and therefore things that indeed and in truth, that was the best demonstration of democracy and belief in democracy that we've ever had in Nigeria.
Nigeria, we should move on. We should make it a general public ordained for the whole Nigeria. The Thailand, it only the Lagos State. If we are to tell ourselves the truth, and this country need a good song, this country need to tell themselves the truth, and this country has the fear of God. And if Abiola would have taken his mandate and rule this country, by the special grace of God, I think where we are now, we have been better than, because the man bring out his time and everything, and the people of Nigeria give him that mandate. We vote him massively. You understood? You know? So it's supposed to be general public ordained to the whole federation.
The June 12 saga might have come and gone, but it has left different tales for different people. Properties and lives of loved ones were lost. For some, it was their body parts which led them to being incapacitated. For 44-year-old Abiodun Mustafa, a thriving cloth maker, he lost his leg on July 6, 1993, barely a month after the election, at a rally organized by civil society groups to protest the annulment of the June 12 election by the Ibrahim Babangida military regime.
It is true that the presidential election was generally seen to be free, fair, and peaceful. However, there was in fact a huge array of electoral practices virtually in all the states of the Federation before the actual voting began.
So when we are going to the rally, everybody was singing. We want to collect our money. On where we are going, we just getting on shooting with armor tank from Adeniji Adile. They base us from Adeniji Adile and they base us from Alaka here. They put us on middle and give us firearm. It's there, I have my firearm. From there, I jump on top of the bridge, going down to escape myself. Because the rest people that are meeting on the floor, they are still shooting them. It's there that Dr. Beko was shouting. And Lieutenant Colonel Dia came down to that place. He was in the second in command in Lagos State that time. He's now that time it was General Dia, and he was in Lagos. And doctor called him with their phone they are using that time, because there's no phone that time. So they called him with maybe cellular or something like that. They called, and Dia came with some troops. When they come to that bridge, now tell those soldiers to render their gun. I was under the bridge, dodged myself. Then they want to aim me. about 9 soldiers on top of the bridge like this. They want to aim me. I was dodged inside the stockfish. I carried stockfish carton on my head, and the blood was falling. So from there, I just heard the noise of the Dr. Beko that, Mustafa, where are you? Where are you? I just beat my hand. I was like this, I'm here. So from there, Dia told the soldier that they removed the gun and sent people to come and carry me in that place. From there, they took me to the hospital, a general hospital in Ireland. I was there for 3 days. But that first day I was there, I reached the hospital around 2:30 that very day. 1 hour to that time, soldier came to the hospital again. They said they don't want anybody to speak about the June 12th. They say anybody falling to June 12th must be died. From there, I was on bed with the blood, and I met almost about 6 people on the bed where I was on short. Everybody are receiving pains. Some people are crying. So is there the nurse run to come and meet me? Say, how am I escaping myself? Because those soldiers, they are on the gate, and they have already locked the gate too. And they want to break the gate too. Instantly I hear again, bow! I hear the gun. They shoot the key, and the key open. So the girl run inside the gate that the soldier is coming, I now move myself and give a blow to the louvers of the hospital, break the glass, and then drop myself again to the backyard of the hospital. I run under the flower. What I'm here again is those people be on the bed, they shoot all of them again.
Adeyemi, now a lawyer and politician, recalled the events that trailed the cancellation of that election. It was a combination of trepidation, sorrow, grief, and nightmare, amongst others, as they even watched the number of people shot dead.
We've heard of mass protests and all that. We've never been actual participants. That was an event that shaped the life of someone like me. That in the course that I undertook to study, which is law, and in me entering into politics, because I haven't been a first-hand witness of that big tragedy that left so many people dead. But which, unfortunately, when we report about the victims of that particular event, it wasn't only Chifemko Abiola, Alaja Kudirat Abiola, his wife, and the likes. Innocent people lost their lives. I witnessed that. People, residents in this building witnessed that. From this vantage point, we saw how law enforcement agents took up live ammunition to shoot at protesters. And even those who were lucky among them that were taken to nearby hospitals. Then we used to have 2 hospitals here, I think for Luke Clinic and K2 Clinic. Other protesters will, at that point in time, after seeing a protester dropped by police bullet, will rush them down to the clinics. But the security agents will run after them, bring out the victims, and they will shoot them and kill them immediately. It was a scene that will live with someone like me for the rest of my life. I remembered my mom and other women in this building weeping each time one of the protesters dropped dead. Someone that we just saw singing, shouting, and just demanding for what was right, you know. But it is a country where to protest your rights is for you to stake on.
For some others, the emotional trauma is still indescribable, and invariably, Nigeria and Nigerians are still victims. 25 years after that election, there's still no national recognition, especially for those who paid the supreme price. Is the Southwest too emotional about June 12? Can Nigerians ever move on?
May 29. May 29 is not a democracy day. It's a handover day. It's a handover. You understand me, man? So, democracy day is June 12th. June 12th is the democracy day for the whole nation people. Hausa, Yoruba, Igbo, Takpa, anybody. If the federal government give June 12th honor today, I know there is a peace in this country. There is a peace in this country because not only maybe June 12th, there's a people in the house. Some people are not get eyes again. I know them. They're not ready to render themselves because of maybe anything can happen. But me, I'm ready for anything that can happen.
A lot of people have problem with May 29 is that they also remember that May 29 was the day that the problem started in the north after the January 1966 coup. So they think that May 29 reminds them of the pogrom that happened in the north that led to a genocidal mass killing of the Igbos there. So they think that symbolizing May 29 the way we do is exalting what happened on May 29, 1966 into a monument of history. And they think that it is not something that ought to be deified.
It might be impossible to have a repeat of the landslide unity and results that came with the June 12 election, but there are lots of lessons to be learned and applied as the nation progresses into reshaping, remolding, fashioning out, and remodeling its style of democracy.
Of course, we did not have 110 political parties. We had only 2. It made the election easier to manage, even for the electoral commission there. It made it easier for people to make a choice, and because it was a modified open ballot system, it reduced to a bare minimum the possibility for sharp practices, sharp electoral practices. I think what we should do now is to take the days of June 12 and incorporate them into what we are doing. Otherwise, we will just spend all our time looking backward instead of looking forward on the basis of a much improved electoral system. These are things that I believe we could learn and incorporate into our present-day system so that Nigeria can move forward and positively too.
Unfortunately, I want to say that we've not learned much. If we have, then a lot would have been put right, a lot would have been set right, and we would have taken care not to do certain things that we are witnesses in Nigeria of today. The danger now is that in the other hearts of some people in this country, they may be wishing the military to come back. But for we that have experienced and have lived through the military rule, I'll still tell you that the worst of civilian government is better than the best military government. So we should be careful what we wish for. We have to guard this democracy that we are enjoying jealously. Number one, because it gives us one thing that we can never enjoy during military rule. It gives us freedom. Freedom to talk, freedom to grant this kind of interview. I wouldn't have dared do it during military rule.
In what looks like an answer to the clamor and yearnings of the Nigerian people, the federal government on Wednesday, 6 June 2018, came up with a release declaring June 12 as Democracy Day, saying it will eventually replace May 29 as a national public holiday in the future. The government will also award posthumously the highest honor in the land, GCFR, on Basharum Moshood Kashimawo Lawali Abiola and his running mate Ambassador Babagana Kingibe's GCON. The investiture will also see the award of GCON and the late human rights activist and senior advocate of Nigeria, Chief Gani Faweimi. Like Mustafa Nayeni, there are still lots of untold stories of pain, trial and frustration dotted all across the nation. There are still people paying the price of a nascent democracy. And the question to ask then is, when will the quality of governance be measured by how much people have been lifted out of poverty? When will the long arm of justice not take too long to catch up with those who fall short of it? The answer to these questions are the realities we live every day.